All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Two Planker Podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Schaefer. And today in the show, we got Caleb Godwin. And Caleb, thank you for being here, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Stoked. I imagine myself on podcasts often. I think I'm one of the few skiers that like skis while listening to podcasts. So like I was pretty hyped for the DM. It felt good for sure.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm also one of the guys that if I'm riding alone, I'll listen to a podcast. And it's like I went to Steamboat this season and I rode alone. So I was listening to a podcast. So when I like think about my time at Steamboat, I'm thinking about that episode of I think it was like Joe Rogan or something.
Yeah, for sure. I ski to mainly noiser podcasts, a lot of like dictator stuff. So like I'll be like grinding rails and shit, and I'll just be like listening to the story of like Papa Doc in my ear. It's pretty wild.
That's awesome. Well, happy to have you on. This is how I found you. I did the Instagram story question, whatever. Said, who do you guys? What small businesses do you guys like? And I got like 20 sort of requests at the same time. And whenever that happens, I always wonder if like you or somebody else puts out like a little thing that's like, yo, everyone go spam this right now. Is that what you did?
No, I actually like nicest way possible, don't follow two planker on either accounts. So had no idea, but shout out them boys. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Now people had your back, and this is actually perfect timing because you just put out that new video, and that video was awesome. I just watched it like right before this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It took a while. It's definitely like the longest and most like comprehensive video. I mean, like what? I had like over 50, 60 people in it.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a pain to like even like write down the names for the credits at the end. But yeah, I appreciate it. Good timing as well. I feel like I'm a professional doing a media rollout right now, but
Yeah, dude. It was and here I'll hit one back at you. I mean this in the nicest way possible. Usually that editing style and that video style would annoy me, but I actually thought it was legitimately funny at points. And like I thought that when people try to do like the kind of all over the place scattered brain like almost inside joke type of video,
mhm.
I don't know, but this one was good. The skiing was actually good. The jokes were actually funny. So I liked it.
Yeah, thank you. I that's funny that you say that. I love talking shit on the internet, and I feel like this video has been an apex for shit talking as of recent. And a lot of it is because of how scatterbrained it is. But I'm not really making a video for like anybody else but myself. Like if I saw that video when I was in high school, like during English class, I would have been really hyped.
Yeah,
So as long as like high school Caleb is stoked on it, I'm stoked on it.
that's awesome, bro. Yeah, I thought it was great. The Luke Votaw ender made me laugh with the Luke Votaw exposed. I like
Yeah,
that was one of
that
those
was
videos.
pretty obnoxious, but I like Gifted Hater a lot, and he uses a lot of Vine sound effects, so I thought it'd be funny to do that.
It was good. It was good.
Yo Luke, if you're listening, I'm sorry, dog. I didn't get an okay to do that, but I think it's fine because he's like super nice. So
Yeah, it was.
shout out
I
to Luke
thought.
Ota.
I thought it was. I thought it was in good taste. It was like it was a joke.
Yeah,
um.
he also can triple, so like I don't think I
Yeah.
can
Exactly. Like
talk
he's
shit in
he's
any other.
actually good.
He's actually pretty good. So
Before we start, I want to do a viewer question that I'm glad somebody else asked because I didn't know how to ask it myself. So the Surface Skis asked, "What is Sorta? Is it a crew, film project, clothing company, drug front, all of the above? What is your company?"
I'm so hyped that that's a question because I don't want to be a clothing company like at all.
Yeah.
Um, but it is definitely that's what it was at first. I started in college because I felt like most other clothing companies in skiing weren't scratching the itch that I wanted to scratch. So I figured I'll take the reins on that and try to. And to be honest, I definitely blew it. I made some shitty graphics at first. I probably still will make shitty graphics, but at first it was a clothing company. And then it became an excuse just to like fund videos. And now it's kind of a mixture of both, you know?
Mm.
Like we have our crew. We go a little bit beyond Michigan, but you know, most of us are Midwest oriented. And we make videos and I sell t-shirts sometimes. So yeah, I don't even know if I have an answer, but probably clothing brand.
Wow, all right, that's pretty interesting. Yeah. So let's give you a little background about yourself. Michigan kid. I think we've only had a few of you guys on ever. Luke is definitely one of the other guys from Michigan. Yeah. So tell everyone, where does everything start for you?
So, like my childhood's kind of complicated. I don't think anybody in skiing. That sounds cocky. I'm not gonna say that, but I have a weird upbringing. You know, like my dad was in the military. And I was born in Wisconsin, and then I like moved around a bunch. But so like I went to Alaska, and then I actually went to Connecticut.
Oh, really?
I lived in New London for 2 years, which put a pause to my skiing. But I learned to ski in Michigan. I ended up here when I was like 5, and I was like pretty hyped on it. You know, as hyped as you can be. It's like a 5-year old. And then moved around a bunch and like stopped skiing until I was like 14. And at the time when I was 14, I really wanted to be a professional basketball player. So all of my eggs were in one basket. That's how it usually goes with me. I put all my eggs in one basket. I was hoop dreams, like putting up shots every day. And yeah, I got pretty good at basketball. I was like 6 feet tall in 8th grade. And I'm like 6'2" now. So I like really thought I was gonna be a giant, but then I stopped and then I realized I don't like basketball. So then I quit. And then yeah, now I'm a skier.
Wow. Interesting. So when did you like so you said you were in college when you had this first idea. Was there
Uh-huh.
anything that led up to that? Like were you looking at other clothing companies saying, I could probably do that and I could probably do it better?
Maybe. I think I saw some clothing companies like locally growing up that I just like really thought were shitty. And really most of my ideas come from me seeing something that I don't like and then wanting to do something that's the opposite of that. So I saw like maybe I just got fed up. Like I always had in the back of my head, like I like designing stuff. I liked the idea of making clothes, and I actually like dated this girl, shout out to Lily, who was like really into fashion, and that kind of got me hyped on the idea. And you know, comparatively, I know nothing about fashion, so like I don't want to seem like I'm a fashion guy, but comparatively to like everybody else in skiing, I think I know more than them. So that puts me in like a unique place where it's like maybe I have more insight to make something cooler and more organic and interesting. And yeah, so I think I just got fed up one day and I was like, yeah, I'm selling some t-shirts. Fuck it.
Yeah. And so how did that first process go? Like did you have somebody that knew the ropes or were you going in like totally blind?
I screen printed when I was in high school a little bit. We had a program where you could screen print. Not enough. I should have done it more. I should have took more advantage of it. But yeah, I understood the process of screen printing. I didn't screen print my first drop. I actually only screen printed one, and then it was like too hard, and I just gave up. And I didn't do it again. But I just bought my blanks. I made my design on my NMU MacBook with Photoshop provided. And then yeah, I took it into the shop and got them printed.
That's sick, dude. So like in terms of branding, uh, like what so what's the actual title of the crew, the company, whatever you like what's the full name?
So it's Sorta Skate and Snow. Um, are you asking how I came up with the name?
Yeah, when that was the next question. Like, how did you come up
Yeah.
with that name? Now that we know the full
Yeah.
title.
So I think I think it was pretty quick. Dude, all these coming up with name processes, I feel like everybody gets like so like they're like, "Oh, like they probably thought like like Saga outerwear. They were like, it's like a Saga, like Star. I feel like people think it's deeper than what it is, but I
Yeah.
definitely was like in my car and I just like realized that I said sorta all the time. And I was like, oh, like I like snow sports and I like skateboarding. And then I was like, oh, Sorta Skate and Snow. Those are the, people, the population that I'm trying to like sell clothes to. And it's also alliterative, SSS. And yeah, I thought it was a cool idea. Also, I think sorta is like kind of embodies like a half commit, like like when I do something shitty, I'm like, they're like, did you land it? I'm like, sorta, kind of landed it.
Yeah.
And I think sorta is a half commit in a lot of ways, because it's like, am I a clothing company? We just talked about it. I don't know, but like, is it cool? Maybe. I hope so. Sometimes.
Dude, that's pretty good. Like for something that you saying is like half thought out and just sort of thrown together. No, it actually I feel like that's some pretty good reasoning behind it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Um so you got this big ass crew. It seems like it's the whole mountain is part of the crew. Is that how you view it, or is there like is there
It's
tell
kind
me
of
about the crew.
close. I mean, on weekends, like on a weekend in the winter, like someone might show up to Boyne and be like, "Oh, okay, like these 12 kids live here and they run it." But no, realistically, like Boyne Mountain is kind of in the middle of nowhere. I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm actually more nowhere than Boyne Mountain, but 30 minutes away, I can get like to a more modern version of middle of nowhere. And I have like a couple friends that I sponsor from Boyne, but most people are from Traverse City or Petoskey or other local areas in Michigan that are like 30, 45 minutes away, not near me. And we just ended up meeting through skiing. And I thought they were, you know, talented. Said, hey, you want to. Dude, Loki, honestly, this is the crazy part about Sorta. Like, most of these kids, like, there's some people that I sponsor that, like, have done like amazing things that like I might not ever do in skiing, and like I still haven't given them a shirt. Like they've just like bought my stuff and like hung out with me a bunch, and like to them it's just like the idea and like the crew and like getting filmed and being a part of something bigger is payment enough to like share their talents with me. So thank you to all my friends who I haven't given a shirt, and I also still owe you a shirt, so please just ask me sometime.
Yeah. Dude, I just so I had no clue where Boyne was. I looked it up. You guys are way more in the middle of nowhere than I ever imagined. You guys are like way at the top of the state. That's crazy.
Yeah, middle of nowhere. Corporate overlord too, by the way. I don't know if you know much about big skiing corporations, but Boyne is like the owner of Icon. So
Really?
somehow this like hill in like northern Michigan like bought Big Sky and like Brighton. So we're pretty up in ski industry terms. But yeah, middle of nowhere. I graduated with like 16 people. Like
16?
yeah, I don't even remember. Like I feel like I think there was 18 people in my class and like two of them didn't make it.
Mm.
So I don't even know how many people I graduated with, but yeah, pretty pretty rural out here.
Where'd you end up going to college? Because I'll just say this: everyone that I've ever met that has graduated with less than 20 people is a complete weirdo. At least at school. And then
Yeah, well
college, they kind of figure
I
out how
am a
to.
weirdo.
Yeah.
That's not a wrong assumption. I am a little strange. I went to NMU for my first year of college, and that was great. So do you know anything about Marquette, Michigan? Marquette is like it's like people who would go to like Montana State, like maybe they'll wear like bracelets and like earth tones and like Birkenstocks,
Yeah.
like real outdoorsy hippie people, like microdose shrooms type people. Like they go to NMU. And my boss went to NMU, Dusty Miller, who's like a really good snowboarder. He went to NMU and I wanted just to copy everything he did. And he made street parts and he had this like awesome thing going for him, and I was like, oh, I'll go there and do that. And then I went there and then realized that there's like no one who skis there, or like at least skis like the way I ski, like skis park. So then that was pretty short lived. And then I went to a community college near my hometown. And same deal, like, dude, like these classes at this community college are like 20 people. So I'm like I'm still a weird person by that stereotype you said earlier. But I was happier. I got to work at Boyne and ski more.
Yeah. I mean, I never disliked those people, but it was always just like I could tell that at least the people I met at UConn, I was like, I could tell that you are going from a school with like less than 100 kids to a school with like over 30,000 right now. So
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people say I'm like homeschool, but I
homeschool vibes.
also people say like I'm homeschool like vibes, which vibe is kind of a weird word. I don't know if I like using that word, but like
Yeah.
homeschool vibes. But people also say like I'm theater kid vibes, so like I don't really know what I am, but dude, here I am. What's up?
We're out here. Uh, so what were you going to school for? Because I'm assuming it wasn't to like for fashion or whatever you would like to call school.
No, no, the
Yeah.
fashion scene in Marquette, Michigan, which in the UP, by the way. So like also middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought going to the middle of nowhere would be better for me. Like even more. But I was going for secondary education English and then secondary education art my second semester because I wanted to take more art courses and get a MacBook.
Yeah.
And then I dropped out of, well, I didn't drop out. I transferred to NCMC.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying, I'm like, excuse me, I'm one class away from my associates. And then I think I'm just gonna give up and like go somewhere else for a little bit and then come back later and try to be a teacher or something.
Yeah.
If they get paid better, I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, that's pretty interesting. I like the people that just not like wing it, but do they just kind of they're not like, yeah, I'm gonna they see the traditional path and they're just like, yeah, not for me. I'm gonna do my own thing for a little bit and figure it out and like create something in the meantime and then we'll figure it out. I like that.
Yeah, I figure I only have time to be, like the window to be like a semi-professional slash professional skier is like pretty slim. So I feel like if I want to do that, I might as well do it sooner.
Yeah. Is there anyone from Michigan that's like the blueprint for like making it out of Michigan into skiing that you look up to or anybody like that?
So my biggest role model is a snowboarder. Uh my boss Dusty. He's like he's done like everything. I wouldn't say he's done everything, but he's done a lot of things that I would want to do in like my career in snowboarding, like make cool street parts, make a lot of connections, work at Hood, have a stable job later. Like that's a big one for me too. I would love that. But I mean, like in skiing, it's like it's just like just community of like Hornbeck fans pretty much. Like Mike Hornbeck is definitely like the Michigan blueprint of choice.
Yeah. What'd you think of Truck Talk, that new video?
Dude, I think I actually liked it a lot. I thought I wasn't gonna mess with it because GoPro footage is kind of shitty to me.
Yeah.
I don't really like GoPro footage, but I thought it was edited kind of well and kind of well. I thought it was edited really well. I thought the music was kind of fun. And I mean, dude, they're just like they got so much swag, it's insane.
Yeah. I enjoyed that video. I don't know, man, like reading the comments of stuff. It's like seeing a movie and then all the reviews are like, "Oh, this is horrible for this reason." Then you kind of like look at the movie differently.
Hmm.
But at first I watched Truck Talk. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was tight." And then everyone's like, "Oh, boo, like GoPro footage sucks." I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I have a trouble forming my own opinions, but afterwards I was like, "Was that good?" Like it was a ton of GoPro footage. Like a ton of it.
Yeah, it was it I guess there's a couple shots. There's a couple long lens shots that weren't GoPro.
Yeah.
It was DSLR probably, but no, I thought This is a fun story. I'm gonna say this because this was
Go
like a
for it.
huge moment for me for sure. So I had a couple shots in this video by Mike King called Lake Effect. I don't know if you know anything about Mike King. He has like some
Huh.
old like Lafa parts. He's like
Okay.
another Michigan guy who a lot of people look up to. And he actually grew up on a farm like 10 minutes away from my farm and like ended up wanting to be a pro skier. I didn't even know who he was. Like I didn't even know he existed and like ended up like doing the same thing that he did. And he like grew up 10 minutes away, which is pretty funny. But I had a couple shots in his video, Lake Effect, and they had like a premiere or whatever. And he was like, yo, like come to the premiere in Petoskey. I already went to the other premiere, like hand out some sorta, and like I got you in a box, like with some legends. Like Mike talks real funny. He's got like a Colorado thing going for him. And I was like, oh yeah, like for sure, like I'm down to do that or whatever. And I knew Hornbeck was up because of like I don't know something on the story, but like I like someone told me B Dog was up, and I was like, what the hell B Dog doing here? And then I was in the box with B Dog and Hornbeck and Bill Parker, and I was like, what's up? And it
Oh,
was really sick.
shot. That's sick.
It was pretty sick, yeah.
Oh, fuck, dude.
And then like there's nothing to talk about. Like I wish I could have been like a little more. I wish I had something better to talk about to B Dog because like B Dog is a pretty big person in my like skiing taste formation, but I ended up being like just like yo uh I ended up like rapping to him like the song he used in his real ski.
That's
I
what
was
you
like,
went
I
with?
gotta eat to live. I know every word of the song, you know what I mean? So I was like, I gotta eat to live. Look what they feed my kids. He was like, yes, brother. I can't do a French Canadian, but it was sick.
Bro, that's just mad funny that that's what you went with. You're like, all right, instead of, going up to him, be like, man, I love everything you put out. Bro, I respect you.
Yeah,
Just go
like
up and start
oil and
rap.
water, like the B&E show, like that's classic. And I was like, no, like I know every single song to the Eat to Live. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Funny, bro.
That's not where that question was going at all, which is so funny. I actually forgot what it was. I just pivoted it to talking about how I rap to B Dog, but
No, you're good. You're good, bro. We're just
word.
this is this just we're just shooting the shit anyways.
Yeah,
Um,
gotcha. Refocus this for me real quick.
we'll refocus it. Dude, let's talk more Michigan. I like the controversy around Luke Votaw. Like, how do you guys feel about him? Because these people hate him. Like all the dudes online,
Yeah,
and when I interviewed him, I'm like, I love this kid. Like people just
yeah, he's like so
gotta know.
nice and quiet and like well spoken.
Yeah, he's just like a great kid. So I was just wondering what like local thoughts on him are.
Yeah, no, most people hate him for sure.
Even locally.
Yeah, locally the hate's pretty strong. I think I don't know. I think he like fills a role of something that just like in Michigan like no one really wants, where he's like he's doing triple corks, like he's wearing outfits that like we wouldn't consider cool. Um and he's just doing something that like a Michigan rider like can't really relate to at all.
Yeah.
Um so I
So
think that's why widely he gets a lot of hate. Obviously song choice is probably a big thing as well. People don't like the songs he uses, but Luke has never like not been super nice to me. So like, if I meet someone, like I have no reason to dislike that person entirely based on, the music they choose and if they wear like Nike sweaters when they ski.
yeah,
And he was at Boyne and he was skiing cool, and I was like, yo, it'd be really funny to like film him with like a HMC 150 fisheye
yeah,
and like fry his footage. And I did that, and it turned out really sick. It's actually like one of the my favorite things I've edited. So, yo, shout out to Luke Votaw for being really talented, being from Michigan, and being controversial. If you're not
yeah.
controversial, you're doing something wrong, probably. So,
Well, it's funny that yeah. I mean, we could we'll let Luke off the hook, but it's just funny that like people get so upset about what people wear. It's just I don't know. So you said that he breaks the stereotype of a Michigan skier. So what's your Michigan skier stereotype? Like how how does a Michigan skier ride?
Dude, it's so like mountain based, I feel like it's so funny. I actually thought about this when we were talking about like the blueprint for like a Michigan skier to like want to model your skiing off of.
Yeah.
Because like while we all like, Hornbeck's the biggest name, like by far, and like one of the coolest skiers maybe ever, right? Like the amount of like I've never like modeled my skiing after Hornbeck. Like maybe I'll like look at a front two he did and be like, oh, I want to do a front two like that. But like he's not like my type of skier. But the like so like he's from Kalamazoo and there's this resort called Bittersweet. Simeon Glass is from there. You interviewed him.
Yeah.
Pretty much there's like a bubble around Bittersweet, and like the closer you are to that bubble, the more Hornbeck-esque your skiing is. So like you'll see like the Bittersweet kids will come to Boyne like later in the season, and they got like the B Dog jacket and the Harlow pants, and it's like, oh, okay, like I don't even have to ask where they're from. So there's like that side of Michigan skiers, which is like, Armada or Nada, like boom, 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 Griselda in the earbuds. And then like you can go like Brighton, that's like where Luke Votaw's from, and Timo Berg. I don't know who if you know who he is, but he's like a really good skier. He rides for Line now. He lives in Park City or Salt Lake City, but like they might be more Luke Votaw-esque, and then Traverse City and like my crew is like, I don't know, maybe like more reminiscent of like bunch videos, maybe, or like jet skis or something like that. Like that's what we're into. So I think it's a big um combination of people, especially with the internet. It's like not as uniform as maybe it used to be. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, torn gloves, tow rope.
Yeah. Dude, there's way more going on than I ever thought. That's yeah, shout out Simeon. I forgot that he's also from Michigan. That's wild.
Yeah, air horn. Shout out Simeon.
Dude, I cannot emphasize this enough to the non-Michigan people listening to this, which I think there are only going to be a handful. This is definitely going to be a locals heavy episode.
No, yo, everybody who's not from Michigan, comment on the Instagram post or whatever and let them know that we sorta is reaching slightly further.
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Bro,
Like maybe we got Wisconsin in the building. What up?
dude, but the video, I really thought that the video that you guys put out, I forget what it's titled, but like I watched that and I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like I get what's going on. It's like this weird ass scene, but it's like you guys had this strong culture just because I feel like you get no contact with the outside world. Like you're developing your own little society up there.
Maybe. I feel like that's probably more of Ohio because like there'll be an Ohio person come to Michigan and they're
Yeah.
just like 10 years behind.
Yeah.
But like just like really good at hippie killers for no reason. Like I
Yeah.
think they're more isolated. We have internet up here maybe and they don't. I don't know. But yeah, I think Michigan is like surprisingly close knit for like no reason.
Yeah.
Like especially I threw an event this year like called Sorta Session and like invited every like I wouldn't say every good skier because like looking back at it, I definitely forgot some, but like everybody was invited. It wasn't like we just like put in some cool rails and like made a video of it or whatever. But like, yeah, it's like everybody's tight with everybody. Like, I think it's bigger than what people might assume it is. But like, the people who are I guess good and like really care about skiing are like all like homies. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like it here, dude. It's fire.
Well, dude, I'm glad you brought up that event because that's something I actually wanted to ask you about. Like, I think I've said this before for sure. Like a dream for a lot of these small business owners I talk to is like, oh, I'd love to sponsor an event one day or host an event. So like, how'd you go about that? Is the mountain just down for whatever, or was that like off hill? How'd you set that whole thing up?
Dude, dude. It's actually so funny. So Boyne Mountain, like I don't think anybody would expect that to ever happen at Boyne Mountain. Like it's like such an absurd thing. Like Boyne Mountain's pretty big, pretty corporate. Like, we got like pools and a sky bridge. I'm sure you saw that in the back
Oh
of the
yeah,
video for no
yeah.
reason, just like a huge bridge. I don't know. Like they just spend money on like crazy stuff and like I don't know. They wouldn't be inclined to be like, "Oh yeah, like some skier guy with blonde hair who works park crew, like let's let him run an event." But somehow my boss, once again, Dusty Miller is doing more for skiing than I think any other skier in Michigan right now. Like he like got me some passes to hand out. He like got them to like let me like have an event and like have a megaphone and hype people up. And also, he's the park crew manager, so we built some rails and yeah, it was fire. So yeah, somehow it happened, somehow it worked out, and it was really fun.
Was it like traditional rail jam style, or were you doing like the new wave of just handing out money? And
Oh yeah, new wave. Maybe not even new wave of handing out money. Like literally at the end, somehow I got a bunch of products too. Like
yeah,
shout out to all the sponsors in the sort of video. Surface, Joystick, Happy's Taco Shop, Coswell, Atch. I don't know if I'm missing any. Uh, there's this guy from Minnesota named David Georgie. And I think he worked for the house or something, and like their store closed down, so he just brought like a bunch of snow pants. Like we had a bunch of stuff to like give out, and I'm not the best guy to run an event because I'm skiing or whatever. So like honestly, like I just filmed and skied until the end, and then there's just a crowd of people, and we just started like making up stuff like yo push up comp, yo relay race, yo like product toss or like whatever, and everybody like pretty much everybody at that event got something just because of the surplus of the event. But we had one winner at the end. Uh uh Very reminiscent of Kimbo Session because that's like the coolest thing in the world to me is Kimbo Session.
yeah,
And so we had one winner and I had like a box that people just put money in. And then I just gave like all the money at the end to the winner who happened to be Wyatt Dorman. So shout out to Wyatt for being the GOAT. It was sick.
that's tight, man. That's that's like that's awesome. Were you worried at all? Like, this might be a bust, blah blah blah. Like, were you stressing at all before it?
No, not really. Because like at the end of the day, if it was a bust, like I still got to build like some cool rails and my friends were still coming to film. So like the minimum that could happen would still be good. I'd have like a fun time with my friends.
Yeah, like
But
worst case scenario, you get a park shoot out of it.
yeah, I get a park shoot out of it. Like maybe I have a couple like poles to give to some kids or something. But there ended up being like a mob of people and I had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it went really well. Yeah, it was really cool. I haven't really thought about how cool it was. It was really cool.
No, that's awesome, dude. It looked awesome, and you're the
Yeah.
host of it too, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, there's a Minnesota crew called Guga that came out too, which was really cool to see.
Mm.
Um yeah, it was really fun. Shout out to everybody who showed up. And this next year I'm gonna have a little more structure, you know what I mean? Like maybe we'll have traditional rail jam themes going on. Hopefully I'll get my skis in time this year so I can give out a pair of skis not afterwards. Yeah, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be even better next year. Boyne Mountain, thank you for letting me do it. Please let me do it again.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Boom.
So yeah, so I mean, speaking of people listen to these episodes for different reasons, but like on the business side of things, like starting your business, did you have any expectations going into it of any success, or did it start off as just like, yo, this will probably be my friends buying it? Like, how'd you view it at the beginning?
Maybe I thought I'd have some success. I do want to say, if you think I have success now, I don't. I'm probably still in the red. I probably have made very little money from this total.
Yeah,
But I thought it could be a thing. I thought it'd be a way to fund me buying a camera,
yeah,
and it did that. So
That's tight, dude.
So the minimum is done now. It's like whatever happens now is like extra. Like woohoo!
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I think I don't know, I kind of view the podcast the same way. Maybe starting to grow it a little bit more. We'll see. But I was just like, if I could ski for free, that would be awesome. Like if it could just
Yeah,
cover
no,
skiing
that's cool.
expenses. Yeah.
That's cool. I saw you're doing interviews at Do Towards Do, which is like
Yeah.
that's pretty sick. That's kind of a dream job of mine, maybe. So
Yeah, I mean, well, going out
I'm
there
coming
for
for you.
sure put us in the red. Like for sure, for sure, for sure. I mean, the podcast itself is a pretty lean operation. I mean, I pay for a Zoom subscription, and then the rest is just time and
Hmm.
this microphone I bought. But yeah, once you start going places, then everything really starts adding up, and you're like, all right, this I'm for sure in the red now.
For sure. I take that back. I probably have made a good bit of money, but it's all by hand at Mount Hood because I sell in person at Mount Hood. So
Oh, that's sick.
that's a great thing that Sorta has done for me. It's allowed me to go to Mount Hood and not like come home like super poor.
Yeah, yeah,
Even though I work at like Wendell's and High Cascade or whatever, it's like I think everybody who's ever worked there knows that you're not gonna come back like with like financial mobility. It's
yeah.
not, it's like a great job if you want to ski and like meet people, but if you don't have a side hustle, it'll be a little harder. So
Yeah, no one's getting rich off of working at Mount Hood, I think.
no, I don't think
Yeah.
so. Maybe like some race coaches, but
Yeah.
I mean they own that whole damn hill anyway.
So when did you start going out to Mount Hood?
So this is my third summer.
Oh, it's
This
pretty
next
good.
summer will be my
Yeah.
third. So
Sick. Are you a spring? I mean, it's already May. Are you spring pass type of guy, or you just go out there like to actually?
I am spring passing this year, the end of spring pass. I was waiting to see if Surface would buy my spring pass. Does not look like they will. So I will be purchasing that probably tonight. And I'll be heading out sometime after next weekend, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty loose. I have to go. I'm gonna go through Salt Lake City because I have like chronic boot problems, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to get a ski boot that I can ski in this whole summer. Uh, but other than that, it's been only summer so far.
Yeah. Dude, that's sick. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out there this year. I would love to, but dude, I drove to and from X Games, so the car got a lot of mileage on it, and if I put like another
Yeah,
6,000 miles on it, I'll be over 100,000, and it's just like a mental barrier I'm having trouble crossing right now.
yeah, I'm definitely well over 100,000 of mine.
Yeah.
I've driven out every summer. Will drive out this summer as well. So
Yeah. Do you roll solo for that, or you?
first year I brought somebody there, and then I came back solo.
Hmm,
And then last year I think I was solo both times.
that's sick.
I don't think I was. It's pretty brutal, but it's kind of fun. It's like it's cool just to like pull over. Like, Montana has a bunch of cool like free camping sites. So
Yeah.
it'll be like 8 p.m. like dark and just like try to find this like janky campsite, set up a tent in the dark, go to bed, wake up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. I got to get my car camp set up on point. I had a roof tent for the longest time,
Mhm.
and then some things happened, blah blah blah, and somebody else ended up with the roof tent. And but now I have a platform that I can set up in my car. So I'm like, I might just run it back and just do the car camping and just try to figure out how to store everything in the car with the platform and the bed. So I think
That's
that
the
might
way
be
to do it, I guess.
yeah,
I'm when I'm going there this spring, most of the time I'll be in a B&B split between my friends, which will be far nicer than car camping. But all my
yeah,
friends have told me like, yo, just put a mattress in your car and bum it.
yeah,
And it's like, I don't know. I think I need a shower more than those friends that I'm mentioning.
yeah,
But but I do respect it. They're getting their laps in. So
yeah. Dude, now I kind of want to go. I'm still figure. I'm totally still figuring out what I'm doing for May right now, and I have to like work. I got some work gigs in the middle of it, and
mm.
I'm super thankful to be working those. But it's really messing up any plans to drive across the country and be gone for a month.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it. But you need to go sometime in your life. It's definitely an
Yeah,
interesting.
Well, I
There's
went.
no place like Hood.
Yeah, I went last year for like a week, and I'm like, okay, a week or not even. We,
Oh,
we
okay,
split it.
cool.
We split it between Hood and we were in Mount Bachelor for a little bit. So we were at Hood
That's
for
just so cool.
yeah, and we were only at Hood for like 3 days for skiing, and I was like, okay, next time it's just only Hood, and we're running
Yeah,
it like the whole time.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool. Save up.
I know, we'll figure it out. Um, all right, let's see what's next. We got some viewer questions, and I'm seeing if we could add anything in here.
Shoot, I hope these viewer questions are good because like I have a pretty good response, like everything. I think eventually, like once I care less about my own skiing career and
Mhm.
more about I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, I might make skiing based content besides just skiing videos and my own skiing. Um so I do think about this stuff a lot. I definitely think about like, oh, what would I say if this question was asked?
Yeah.
But
All right.
I
Well,
forgot the original question.
let's get into them. Let's get into them.
Yeah, yeah. Give me some bangers. Yo, I'm so sorry for what people said too. I know they said like some insane stuff.
Nah, no, there was nothing really over the line.
Okay.
Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Let's start off with something that Quinn. Who would win in a game of Sorta? Wyatt Dorman or Penis Heine?
So
Whatever
so his real name is Phoenix Heine.
yeah.
He's the opening shot of the Sort of Spring video 2023, where he snaps his ankle in half. Broken in three places in the ski boot. He Tanner hauled it,
Yeah.
as we were saying at the crime scene. And he's really talented. He's really good. And Wyatt Dorman did not hurt himself, and he's also super good. And Wyatt would definitely probably win.
Nice.
I don't think it would be that. Maybe if there wasn't a jump, maybe cool, or if maybe Phoenix would have a chance. But I think Wyatt wins in most situations. Sorry, Phoenix.
Yeah. Let's see. Owen asked favorite Wyatt Dorman ski, left or right? Whatever that means.
It's because he writes two different Vishnus. Because he broke one and then Emmett sent him a different Vishnu.
Yeah.
Um, the Cal Carson one for sure with the spider web with the droplets. Those are cool.
He's only got one of them. Does he have the cowl? Does he have the
He has
cowl
the
one? Or...
cow on one foot and he's got the Van Gogh on the other
Yeah.
one.
Oh, that's pretty
At least
sick.
I think it's Van Gogh. I don't know what the painting is.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Quinn, biggest struggle of owning a brand in skiing.
Um, not knowing if it's a brand or not when a podcast host asks you if it's a brand is probably the hardest part. No, the hardest part is definitely making money.
Yeah.
That's definitely the hardest part. Getting people to buy what you're making. Like the people who think that like the videos you make and like the crew and the like like wanting to film a street video, like the people who think that stuff's really cool will have probably bought your stuff earlier on in your career or like your I guess your career, your
Yeah.
life as a brand. And then afterwards it's like how do I get like a 12-year-old to buy this? Because like the audience you shoot for, it's like you can expand it like regionally, but there's really only so many people who like have the Zoot Space video memorized, like me and my friends do, right?
Yeah.
So it's like how do I end up selling my hoodie to somebody who watches videos on Instagram and skis like 5 times a month, you know?
Yeah. Well,
That's where it gets hard.
yeah. Hopefully, this can help out a little bit with that. But you should definitely talk to Tall T Dan because I remember when Arsenic was just a Vermont brand. Like, oh,
Mm,
that's what the Vermont kids wear. And in Connecticut, it was like, oh, cool. Like, oh, that's just what the Vermont heads wear. And like when you see them at other mountains, like oh, those dudes are probably from Burlington because they're wearing Arsenic. So breaking out of like that local type of I would almost call it like local prison, where
Hmm.
that's all you're known. It's gotta be tough, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I'm definitely applying a lot of tall T Dan strategies
Hmm.
to my brand. I know he sold a lot at Hood,
Yeah.
which I'm very directly mimicking. I sell like literally everything I have at the end of the year. Like I'll take it to Hood and it's I usually come back with very little, which is a pretty cool feeling. And I've definitely had some orders out of state, but yeah, I mean being like Arsenic, like having your logo in a foray video, like that's when you made it, you know?
Yeah. That's
That's
tight.
when you made it.
Um. All right. Well, we're kind of related to what we were just talking about. Skippy, he said, "How do you build a local empire like Sorta?" So
Uh
how'd you break onto your own scene? You know, rather than trying to get out of it. Like, how did you even like spread around locally?
so okay, this I'm gonna talk directly to someone who wants to start a brand, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of brands in Michigan and beyond try to start and then just like end super quick.
Hmm.
Or maybe they'll just like post one thing like a year or something. So first thing you need to do is like you gotta have somebody you can like pivot off of to like get you some sales, you know? So like thankfully for me, like I already, I wanted to be like I'm a skier first, you know? Like I don't want to be the sort of guy. Like I've had a couple people tell me like, "Yo, like I didn't know you ran sorta." And that's good. That's how I want to be. I want to be as much of a writer for sorta as I am like a creative and the person who like makes the graphics and sells the clothes or whatever. So you got to have someone to, put on your brand, That doesn't mean like sponsor everybody, that means like Camden Williams, right? Like Cammy is definitely my first year or 2 years of sales is definitely like 50% on Camden's back. If it wasn't for Cammy, like I don't think I would have sold shit for sure. So yeah, get somebody with some eyes on them, and then make something that doesn't look bad is definitely another thing to do. Have an eye for design, and if you don't, like get somebody else involved in your project, and then maybe you'll make something that like looks good on a person.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So you're not like, even though you said that you sponsor a lot of people, you're not on the wave of giving free clothes to every single person under the sun.
No, it definitely works though. Like that's a good strategy. Every single I have to make sure I like them as a person first.
Yeah.
So like once I like meet every skier in the world, then I'll like a lot of product will be out there. But that'll gradually take some time. So until then, I'll just meet people and give them shit.
Yeah.
So shout out to everybody I've given stuff so far. I think you're cool.
uh, Sidebar: do you think you've given away more stuff, or do you think you've sold more stuff?
It's actually probably pretty close. I've definitely sold more stuff, but this is a funny story. So at the first premiere of the Lake Effect movie that I was in, it's like Mike King. This video is so like if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I love this sort of spring video, like that's a kind of skiing video I like. Like maybe I'll go watch this Lake Effect video. Completely different. Like the Lake Effect video is made for like people who don't ski. It's
Yeah.
like it's more based on like environmentalism and like the beauty of the landscape and like the story of like Mike King than it is like like skiing video, right? But the perk of that is like he's in a theater like showing it to people who actually want to see this video, and I gotta show my video beforehand and people probably snoozed and then they were like, oh, okay, this one has a story, I can follow it. But during that event, I was giving stuff out. I was on the mic. I love being on the mic. Like that's my favorite thing in the world. I was on the mic saying probably nothing of substance, probably trying to make people laugh. And I was like, I'm giving stuff out. And I had a box that I brought. And this is so stupid for me. Like I'm so dumb for this. I put everything. All I had was like one box in my room, and the box had shirts that I haven't released yet. And I put all the stuff I wanted to give out on top of those shirts. And then I was like, yo, guys, like, take the stuff on top and throw it out. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen. Like the box is like pretty much empty by the time. Like they gave out everything that I like hadn't released yet. So that shirt just never got released and like got handed out a bunch at that event. So that one definitely puts me back some shirts.
Yeah,
But
that's tough.
yeah, I've definitely sold more, but I give out a lot.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's see. I mean, dude, there's a lot of inside joke questions on here. Um,
I mean, you could
screw-
rapid fire them off to me. Maybe I got
all right.
maybe there's one that's actually of substance, or you could just cut it from the final.
Yeah, here's all right, we'll try this one. Enzo.gray. Is Sketty Space and Brandon Stover in a relationship?
So they are not in a relationship. Those are like two of like the bigger Michigan skiers. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know Brandon Stover. He's pretty big in the algorithms, you could say. But no, they just both ski at Cannonsburg and are both good.
Dude, this local knowledge. Same thing, same dude. Are Quinn and Caleb dating?
So I'm Caleb.
Yeah, what am I talking?
So that one actually has some substance because I don't know what you remember of the Sorta Spring video. It's really long and it's a bunch of Michigan guys. I don't
Yeah.
expect you to remember much of it. But there is a point in the opener where
Yes.
a kid does a double and then someone who looks exactly like me kisses him.
Right on the
I
lips.
don't know who it was, but he looked like really similar to me in almost every way. And no, we are not dating, and I actually am into women, so I'm putting that one out there.
Yeah, I thought the give your homie a kiss to celebrate the trick celebration to open the video was interesting.
Really, a lot of that video is like, oh, it would be so funny if we did this.
Yeah, yeah.
So not to say that like my videos are jokes or anything, but there's definitely like, I think self-awareness is something that a lot of people just like a lot of the coolest skiers have no self-awareness, and definitely the wackest skiers have like no self-awareness, right? So like I think having that like humor and like being funny and like showing like, hey, like we kind of get that like we kind of get the role we play in skiing. I think it helps add to our appeal.
Dude, I really thought the video was so fun. I can't tell you enough. This video is like it's so close. It is so close to being annoying, but it's not. Like it's right up on that line of like of good. It is
That's
a good
great.
video.
That's great. That's what I want to balance. I want to balance like what the fuck is this and like damn, this is hard.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like super ahead of its time.
Maybe I hope so. That's
Yeah.
the goal. I mean, I don't think anyone's made a video like that before. So I'm excited that I made a video like that.
All right, more local questions. Patrick just says Skingle Road and leaves it
So
at that.
yeah, that's my snowboarder friend Patrick.
Yeah.
I live in Ellsworth, Michigan, which is the boonies.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, I hope no one from Skinkle Road hears this, but there's not a chance in the fucking world. There's this road called Skinkle Road that is like infamous for being like super gnarly. And I didn't know it was super gnarly, but I just like driving around because that's what you do in the middle of nowhere. You'll just listen to music and drive. And
Yeah.
I was just driving around. It's like this really skinny like dirt road, like almost two track. And it just like got like super gnarly, like maybe like 50 like gutted cars, like trash everywhere. Like these houses are made of pallets, like they're made of like old billboards and shit. You can still see the billboard, and they use those as like a wall, and like trailers. And there's like a what do you like a longhorn cow bull
Yeah.
for no reason. And I was like, what the hell is this? This is like like I was gonna say Brazil. This is like the favelas in Brazil.
Yeah.
It's like super like impoverished. And then I like did some asking around. I was like, just like, I don't know, I worked at a farm and I was like, yo, like, do you guys know about Schuylkill Road? And they're like, yeah, like Schuylkill Road's fucked up. Like, be careful. And it's like it's this family called the Skinkles that are rumored to be with like and there's really no rumor. Like this is just something that's known to like locals, is that they're just like they're little they're the gene pool's pretty small, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got a small gene pool. They're pretty gnarly, and like apparently like cops don't even go like around like the Skinkle Road area, and they like live in a swamp. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Dude, that reminds me so much of I don't know, my whole life I've just been like interested by like those types of stories, this like hidden knowledge and just like weird off the beaten path sort of things. There's this place in New York called Onion Town that is incredibly similar to that. It's just like you have to cross a railroad track and then it's like a little trailer park community and
Hmm.
there's like rumors of them being inbred and they attack, quote unquote attack outsiders that come in and dude, I just love that those word of
And
mouth
that's like
urban legends.
intellectually your zone. You're like, I
Yeah.
want to be there.
It's just mad funny that like in the age of everyone knowing everything and you could look up anything at any time, there's
Hmm.
still those little urban legends of like, oh, don't go down that road. Like there's bad shit down there.
Yeah, yeah.
I just think
And
it's so funny.
it was just so funny for me, like the realization, because we're really touristy up here too. Like
Yeah.
everybody downstate who like works for like General Motors or something, like buys a summer home up here. So
Okay,
like
yeah.
these people are just like commuting like around these lakes and just like not ever touching the depths of Skinkle Road. They
Yeah.
don't know what's down there, but shit gets real.
Yeah. Shout out Skinkle Road, bro.
Yeah,
Shout
shout
out,
out to
dude.
Skinkle Road.
Yeah. Uh let's see. Chuck, he said, how much is Caleb's iPhone worth?
Uh, I have an iPhone 8 SE in an OtterBox with a bunch of cracks in it, and like the screen barely works. So like maybe $50.
Yeah. When I was trying to get in contact with you, first of all, you can't DM Sorta Snow. I don't know if you like that or what, but when you try to DM Sorta Snow, it says that you could only DM if they're following you, and that goes back to you're not following us. Uh, but I reached out to David from Scards, and he was like, "Yo, DM this account on Instagram. He'll get back to you." And it was just at Caleb's iPhone,
Yeah, that's
so it worked
that's me.
out.
What? People can't DM me? Did I get a bunch of bullshit DMs? I don't know how I made that a setting, but it must only be for you because I get a
Yeah,
12-year-old in there every day just begging to be sponsored. So
yeah, dude. I don't know. It gave me some sort of weird warning, but obviously we ended up getting
warning.
in touch.
Yeah, it
Let's
worked.
see. Um, all right, let's reel it in a little bit. Enough of the locals. We let the
Yeah.
locals get their
No more
jabs in.
inside jokes. We're
Yeah,
talking
we're talking real deal.
analytics.
Yeah, real deal. Deski Sid. What brings you the most joy, and what's your perspective on life's offerings?
Oh, that's a sweet question.
Yeah,
Um, I like techno music a lot. No,
that's one way to answer that question. Yeah,
skiing, friends, probably friends.
yeah,
I think if anything had as good as a community as skiing did, that I could have as both a like emotion like a artistic and physical outlet. If there's anything comparable to that, like if I like skateboarded in New York, like I'd be a skateboarder. You know, if I snowboarded in like the Twin Cities, I'd be a snowboarder. Like it's all about like community,
yeah.
friendship, making something.
There we go. That is a very wholesome question.
Yeah, wholesome
Um,
question.
yeah.
Also techno music.
uh, let's do this one, and this will be my little layup to you. Grant Harris, uh, what's your relationship like with surface skis?
Yo, so service skis is there's kind of a funny story going into it. I worked at camp my first year, and I was a free agent. You know what I mean? And like as any free agent does when they work at a you know at a at a ski camp where all the big names come in, all the big brands, all the heavy players, you know what I mean? I didn't like talk to any of them. I
Word.
didn't I didn't do any uh what would you call it when you like talk to a
Networking.
bunch of networking? I didn't really do any networking. Like I did like with riders and I did with like people who I worked with at camp and some people, but I didn't really do that much networking mainly because like I don't really drink or party.
Yeah.
So under that situation, like you're not really gonna talk to that many people other than like the people who like actually like summer camp, which I do. But anyways, my coworker Liam Baxter, shout out the boy. We were like super tight friends at camp, and he he was like getting hooked up by Atomic, but he wasn't like in. So he was like, "Yo, can I get some surfaces?" And Jason Aarons, who's I don't know his exact position in surface or um joystick, but he does a lot. He's like one of the big dogs. So Big Dog gave him a pair of skis. He rode for maybe like the last 2 weeks of the summer and then got online.
Yeah.
So I doubt Jason was hyped on that. But through Jason and my friend Ali Patrick, I had Jaren's Connect. Or I think I said Jason. Through Liam and Ali, I had Jason's Connect. And
Yeah.
I hit him up when I was at rock bottom. Uh my own 3Ps just blown up. And I said, yo, I really need skis. And he hooked me up. And
That's awesome.
I guess I was a good ambassador because I keep getting skis. So thank you,
Yeah.
Jason.
That's
And service is the coolest brand too. Oh, the other funny story. He DM'd me. He was like, "Yo, what skis do you want?" And like, I didn't really know much. I don't really know much about ski models in general, really, other than like the Tom Wallace Pro, because you see those everywhere, or like the ARV. So I didn't really know any of the surface names. And my favorite skier is Harold. And I was like,
yeah.
"Yo, give me whatever Harold's on."
Yeah.
And he did that. And then yeah,
Dude, that's tight.
I wanted to be on the ski brand that Harold's on. So
Yeah. And
it
is
was
that like
good.
the full your full relationship with them? I think they give you some skis to give away too now.
Yeah, so they gave me skis to give away. They've given me skis whenever I break them, which is pretty often. I'm a pretty big person and I ski a lot.
Yeah.
I've never met Jason. I guess I met him at camp and we had like a short conversation. But this summer, Surface Week, we're back, and I'll actually be able to talk to the people who have made me able to ski this past couple seasons. So
Yeah.
shout out to Surface.
That's awesome.
Sickest graphics too. I'll die on that hill. Like Vishnu jet skis, like great graphics, but dude, the surface graphics the last 2 years. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
shits go crazy.
Let's see. A lot of the rest of these are future oriented, which is like a natural conclusion to the whole thing. So, uh, Caleb, he said, this is from a different Caleb.
But,
What other products is Sorta going to do in the future?
um, well, it, that question relies a lot on effort, and when you're I guess not half the year, like a quarter of the year, you're in like a different state. It is hard to be like, oh, like I'm gonna long term plan out a jacket, or I'm gonna long term plan out a pair of snow pants. Um, I would like to do snow pants again. I would like to do belts. Um, but it'll probably be more just t-shirts, hats, and hoodies for the time being. My dream was sorta, and my dream in my career in general. I have a couple dreams. I'm a big dreamer, but one of my dreams is like it would be really cool to like become like a creative director or like head of marketing or something for like a bigger brand. and like make them cool. Like whether they had a foot in skiing before, whether they didn't, whether they're a skiing brand, like it doesn't matter to me. Like it would be cool to be able to make something popular in skiing with the knowledge that I've acquired through running my own company. And then maybe I could use those resources to get products made for Sorta. That would be cool. That would be a little bit more difficult to acquire if I didn't, if I was a 20-year-old who lived in Michigan like I am now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would like to do more of that shit, but no, probably, hopefully snow pants next year, hopefully belts. I got some cool hats for this summer. Hopefully skateboarding stuff. I'm sort of Skate and Snow, but we sponsor zero skateboarders. So hopefully I get one of those pretty soon.
Yeah. Um, well, dude, you really took the reins with that one because the other questions were like, what's your, like this kid, Ryan, what is your 5-year plan? And which you kind of already addressed, but
5-year plan. That sounds so official.
I know. And then he also said, what's your dream achievable trick? Like, what's your dream trick that you think if you actually worked for it, you're getting it?
Yo, so first off, I can do whatever trick I want to do. So the way he's trying to pigeonhole me there, I don't appreciate it. Whatever Ryan that is, not a fan of that one. Dude, I kind of want a triple. I think a triple would be really funny. Like trip 14 would be like, I want a triple and I want a triple in Michigan.
Yeah, I was gonna say on a Michigan jump because I feel like that's essential to it. To
Yeah,
be
yeah.
cool.
So like we've built big air Samuel Adams air and apres jumps. I don't know if you know anything about that.
No.
It's like the traveling, okay, I was gonna say the traveling circus, but that has a different meaning in skiing. It's like an actual traveling circus where a bunch of like Emerson Lawton, uh BG Freeski, whatever his name is.
Mhm.
But like a bunch of like sleeper pros, like Ryan Stevenson. He came to
Yeah.
Boyne once. They build like a big old jump and they do a bunch of tricks for drunk people, pretty much. And it's like a pretty big jump. Like if you really chucked meat, you could probably triple it. And it'd be really funny to triple a jump in Michigan. Because I think global warming would catch up and eliminate that possibility before anybody else would. At least triple cork. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. Word. Well, dude, that's the end of the road. Where do you want to leave people off? It seems like you don't the products take a back seat. You want to tell people where to buy your stuff, or you just want to tell them where to follow you? Like let them know how to stay in touch with you.
Yo, so um so Sorta Snow on Instagram, Sorta Skate and Snow on YouTube, probably I think I am.
Yep.
Same I think I'm just Sorta on New Schoolers. If anybody uses that website still, check me out there. Sorta.bigcartel.com. If you want to buy some product, that's in the link of my Instagram bio though. Um I'm Caleb's iPhone on Instagram. That's I've attached myself to an Apple product, so I will forever be known as an iPhone for the rest of my life. So if you want to see my skiing, you can check me out there. And I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody who is on Sorta right now. Shout out the boys. Shout out to Jake Snyder, Loke Dog, Emery, Quinn Noise. Someone like me kissed him in the video. Don't know who it was. Jack Anderton, Jack Herzog, Jock Hork, Doug, Drew, Chuck Hux, Soren, Dorman, Ultimate Champion. He's the GOAT. Joe Siska, Steve's boy, Nathan, Gibby Corcoran, snowboarder, Colin Pitts, another snowboarder. Hey, we cross over. Phoenix Heine, Broken Ankle, Nicholas Gazzardo, the GOAT, Novi, Big C, the kid who did tricks in the Sorta video. He did the flips. Bryce Suman, Skylar Suman, Charlie Baker, B Stove, Lemur. He's on gibberish now, but I'm still acting like he's on Sorta. Shout out to Lemur. Ryan, Hudson, Colin, Scards, Forrest. Damn, I have a lot of people. Actually, I'm gonna stop because I didn't know I had that many people. But yo, shout out everybody who's ever put on for my brand. I appreciate it. No Gogs and Ridge at Super Unknown this year. You guys killed it. Keep skiing and don't buy whack clothing brands, please.
Boom. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, dude. It was fun.